Happy Saturday, everyone. My name is Kimberly Gomez-Santos. For today's video, I am here in Sacramento State University. I will be part of the Spanish broadcast team for the State Hornet. I'm super excited and nervous for this new opportunity that the State Hornet has allowed me. A young girl, I've always wanted to be in front of a camera and deliver the news to inform my community about current events and everything that's going on. And today is the day that my dream has come true. So today is the day. I'm super excited. I woke up today at 4:30, got ready, and started driving at 6:30 to Sacramento. Oh my gosh, I haven't been here to Sacramento since 2 semesters. Just walking around campus made me feel super happy. We found a spot to record our first live shot. They are setting up the equipment to get the camera ready. As I am standing looking around, everything is so beautiful and I'm super excited. This is my first time ever recording with the broadcast team. Since I am short, here's my team adjusting the camera stand, and we also have Patrick helping out with the lighting to make the shot look amazing. Sarah and Gerardo and Dominic.
Yo, Dom, I just want to tell you, you have a dope name, by the way.
In the meantime, while we are setting up, we have random conversations and we get to know each other a little bit more, and it makes the experience so much better. Wow, the lighting is beautiful here. This has been my first time walking through this tunnel. I didn't even know it was in Sac State. Here, for this location, we had to record several shots because every time we would start recording, there would be the ambulance coming, the firefighters coming, or another big car with an engine. Very loud noise.
It's Kimmy's fault. She wanted to solve this. I blame Kimmy.
Oh man.
We should get his phone number.
As we are recording in different locations around campus, we find this turkey. This turkey is something else. That turkey. En marzo de 2020, Sac State escogió cerrar el centro de visión que les daba servicio de optometría. Los estudiantes recibieron la noticia y estaban solicitando la reapertura de los servicios. Embargo, el centro de visión cerró permanente en diciembre de 2020. El cierre ha provocado el clamor de los estudiantes que exigen la reapertura del centro. Los que se oponen a este cambio argumentan que la clínica de bajo costo todavía es necesario en el campus. Robert Nelson mandó un correo electrónico a los estudiantes anunciando que no va a realizar una graduación en persona en el Golden One Center para las clases de 2020 y 2021. En cambio, la universidad llevará a cabo un drive-thru commencement. En esta ceremonia solo se va a permitir un automóvil por graduado y las personas del hogar. Esta ceremonia va a ser una interacción segura para proteger a todos de COVID-19. Los graduados tienen 3 opciones para asistir. Asistir al commencement, participar en una celebración virtual o recibir el hit del Hornet Grad. Los estudiantes pueden confirmar su asistencia empezando el 1 de marzo hasta el 31 de marzo a las 10 a.m. La graduación incluiría música y regalos para todos los graduados. Los empleados de la Universidad Estatal de Sacramento compartieron sus frustraciones con explotaciones laborales y discutieron sobre las negociaciones entre los sindicatos y Sac State para extender los programas de ayuda a COVID-19 en una conferencia de prensa el 2 de marzo. Las universidades estatales de California crearon un programa de licencia administrativa pagada para los empleados que no puedan trabajar en el campus o de forma remota, debido a razones relacionadas con COVID-19. Este programa estuvo vigente desde el 23 de marzo hasta diciembre de 2020. Reportando desde Sac State, yo soy Kimberly Gomez-Santos y esto ha sido todo por hoy. Las noticias continúan en la página web statehornet.com. No se les olviden seguirnos en Twitter, Facebook, Instagram y suscribirse a nuestro canal de YouTube. Gracias por su tiempo, cuídense y manténganse saludable. Y hasta la próxima.
Welcome to the State Hornet News. My name is Dominic Vidiello.
And I'm Kimberly Gomez-Santos. Here's the latest from the State Hornet Newsroom. Para las noticias en español, háganle clic en la descripción abajo.
Sacramento State Administration began sending email invitations to on-campus student workers to get their COVID-19 vaccine, according to Vice President of Student Affairs, Ed Mills. I spoke to some of these on-campus student workers about how they feel the university is handling the vaccination process and how they feel about being eligible to get the vaccine on campus.
I feel great. You know, feels good to know that our managers and my boss is actually looking out for all of us, because we are front line, opening doors, sanitizing everything, making sure that everybody's safe. And it feels good to know that we're thought of. I feel comfortable because, you know, I have people in my life that are more prone to getting sicknesses.
It was truly a huge relief for me to be able to receive that email that I'm eligible to get the vaccine, and it's obviously gave me a courage to be just outside on campus without like fearing that I'm going to get infected by the virus.
I feel a lot safer. I feel safer before, but now that we got the vaccine, you know, it's just like another, you know, security, like a safe security for us, a layer of security for us. We deal with a lot of students, we deal with a lot of campus community, so it's important for us to, you know, to reach that herd mentality.
I was glad because, you know, I do work on campus and there are still classes being held, so it does feel like an extra barrier, extra protection. Like, I feel safer just in general. There was never a point where I was feeling unsafe on campus in terms of, you know, getting sick or anything, but it definitely helps.
Sac State employees expressed their frustrations with the university after experiencing what they say is labor exploitation and discussed the extension of COVID-19 relief programs during a press conference hosted by Joint Labor Union Council. Multimedia reporter Allison Mayhew spoke with identity and diversity reporter Stephanie Nunez to learn more about some of these employees and their experiences with choosing between a paycheck or caring for their families.
To hear this press conference be announced and hear the multiple stories from people who have been working there for more than 10 years, you know, it's kind of devastating to learn that the university is lacking in that aspect of faculty and taking care of your staff. So I think it's important to continue amplifying these lower class voices, because that's really what we're facing, is people who are having difficulty either with childcare or access to healthcare or balancing the pandemic and the demands and aggressive and hostility of this novelty virus and how much it's demanding out of its university.
Sac State's Faculty Senate discussed plans for a commencement, which will replace what would have been an in-person graduation in spring 2021. The commencement will mimic an in-person graduation ceremony, and students will have until April 1st at noon to register. Director of University Events Gladys Glad said that graduates will have 3 options for the commencement, which will include the commencement, a virtual celebration with personalized graduation slides, or just receiving the Hornet grad kits. Glad said students wanting to participate in the commencement who don't have a car should contact the commencement office so they can make accommodations.
Sac State's Vision Center has closed permanently after a long closure due to COVID-19. The center closed in March 2020 alongside various other health services. However, unlike those other services, the center never reopened. Sac State's Vice President Ed Mills said the Vision Center closed due to a decreased amount of student usage over the years. I sat down with State Hornet reporter Emma Hall to talk more on the Vision Center closing.
How is this going to affect students who need this service?
So students who relied on the service, who are historically low-income students and students of color, no longer have access to these low-cost eye exams and low-cost glasses. When I was talking to students, they had mentioned, for folks who did rely on the service, some of, even the students I spoke to said it was a pretty great loss and that it was a pretty big hit for them. When I spoke to students, they said eye exams cost around at least an average of $20 and glasses had cost an average of $79, which is drastically less expensive than what is offered outside the university. So not only do we see students losing accessibility to that, but we're also seeing that the university, with optometry being a augmented service, no longer sees it as essential compared to in Sacramento County. We see optometry still open because it is deemed as essential.
In the story, it talks about Ed Mills saying that he came out and said it is an augmented service, like you said, and they decided to take it away due to less students going. But in the time that we are now, we are all, for the most part, virtual, looking at computer screens all day. How important is eye care now than ever?
So the closure of less demand is actually something that's been argued a lot when I've been talking to students and been talking to folks who have been who worked in the center. They're very strongly believe that it was not due to student decrease. One thing that kept coming up when I've been talking to folks is that it's always been booked and it's always been hard to get an appointment over at the Vision Center, over in the Well. One thing that was interesting that students had kept telling me was, we're all kind of on our computers nowadays. I can't think of anyone who's doing school without an electronic device. And because we're all looking at screens constantly, there is a strong increase of eye strain, of eye dryness.
The women's basketball team pulled off its first Big Sky tournament win in 5 years and ended a 4-game losing streak during the first round of the conference tournament against the University of Montana. The Hornets were able to turn up the defensive pressure by scoring 17 points off of 15 turnovers. However, the victory was short-lived as their season came to an end against the Montana State Bobcats in round 2 of the tournament. The team went 3-22 this season. Beginning April 1st, Sac State will allow up to 100 attendees at outdoor ticketed sporting events, which includes baseball, softball, track and field, and soccer. These attendees will include family members of student athletes and coaches, and a limited number of Sac State students, faculty, and staff. When Sacramento County moves into the red, Sac State will consider allowing an increase to 20% capacity, which is roughly 4,200 viewers at the Hornet Stadium and 240 at the baseball field. The Sac State Valorant Green Team took home a 2-1 win against California State University Dominguez Hills last week. The first game was close at first, but the Green Team was able to win 7 consecutive rounds after the 13th round, taking its first win. Green Team member Nikki Aaron said that this game was a revenge match because Dominguez Hills took the championship away from them last season. Check out our daily Swarm reports on statehornet.com where we recap all the results from that day's action in sports. The African Marketplace, which was founded in 2015 at the intersection of Florin and 24th Street by a local man named Brother Raw, has been a staple in the South Sacramento community long before the pandemic. Brother Raw wanted to focus on economics and African American history, the market is open the first and third Saturday of every month. Not only is the market bringing a positive experience, but it's also sustainable. Here's an inside look at the African marketplace.
Well, this market means to Sacramento a lot because it is the only African market so far I know. I've never seen another one like this, which brings all together the small African business people together. And, you know, we share ideas and the way of doing business is advertising ourselves as small business people.
The market is open to the public to shop and enjoy the atmosphere, but masks and social distancing are a requirement due to COVID-19. The African marketplace gives small businesses the opportunity to sell their merchandise and reconnect with the community.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of the State Hornet News. My name is Kimberly Gomez-Santos.
And I'm Dominic Vidiello. As always, our coverage will continue on statehornet.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you next time.